This story happened at my sister's house when my nephew was only a few months old, and the story was also the first time I heard the story of a child ghost. That night, while the whole family was sleeping, their son suddenly started crying. The cry of my nephew fainting at night made my sister's couple very worried. The baby cried all night. The baby didn't stop crying, which made my sister and her husband unable to sleep. Usually babies cry when they are hungry at night or when they are sick and tired, but that night the baby was a little unusual because my nephew started crying for no reason. My sister made comforting milk, but the baby didn't drink it either. The boy also was not sick at all. After that, my sister tried to put the baby to sleep, but he kept crying so loudly that my sister's couple was confused and didn't know what to do. My sister could only hug and comfort the baby, hoping for him to fall asleep. The faces of my sister and her husband were listless and pale because they had not slept for several nights in a row. My sister thought that just holding the baby in her arms might work. The baby would be able to fall asleep instantly. My sister just gently patted it and sang lullabies to it all night. While the baby was asleep and no longer fussing, my sister gently placed him on the bed. The baby slept very well, like a little angel. My brother-in-law wondered why the child had been harassed at night lately, even though his son was not sick at all. My brother and sister's mood became more and more confused. My sister thought maybe the baby was scared of something else. My brother-in-law said that my sister should rest, and he would take care of the children because my sister looked very tired. If she continued like this, she would fall ill sooner or later. The baby had begun to sleep well, but my sister's couple was still worried. They still couldn't sleep peacefully. And not long after falling asleep, thinking that the child would sleep soundly until morning, suddenly the baby cried loudly again. He cried louder than before. My sister and her husband was in complete panic. The little boy cried louder and louder. So my sister and her husband took turns cuddling and comforting the baby, trying to put it to sleep, and so they continued to have sleepless nights. Although my nephew often cried at night, he played happily during the day. He was very obedient and did not bother his parents. During the day, my nephew was very lively and active. My brother-in-law called my mom to talk about his son, and my mom said she would come to my sister's house as soon as possible because my mother was also very worried about her baby grandson. My mother arranged to come over as soon as she received the call from my brother-in-law because she loved her grandson very much. No one understood her grandson better than she did because my mother had a lot of experience in taking care of children. My mother also came to look directly at her little grandson, so she looked at him in shock and exclaimed, "What happened to the child's face?" The child's face had a few red marks that weren't obvious, and they didn't know where those red marks came from. My sister also didn't know when these red spots appeared. My sister thought the baby had a rash, so she gave him medicine, but my sister herself didn't know what to do. My mother said that the baby had been bitten by a child. "It's not a rash, it's from a child's bite." My mother's words shocked everyone. My sister and brother-in-law were very scared and they heard that. Everyone in the family believed in ghost stories, and they believe in spiritual things like this. My mother said that kids who were like her grandson were the ones who easily angered the little demons. My mother bent to the ground and searched for something under the sofa to confirm her statement. My brother-in-law asked her what she was looking for because there was nothing suspicious about their house. It seemed that my brother-in-law also did not know what my mother's purpose was for doing so. My mother let my brother-in-law look under the chair. "This child not only harms your son, but also steals food." My brother saw a lot of leftovers that looked like rats eating something under the sofa. But there were no rats in the house. This time, my sister and brother-in-law believed and asked my mother what it was and whether it harmed their son. My mother told them that this was the soul of a little devil that died when he was less than a month old. His spirit was usually very naughty and would get in trouble. My mother said that the little demon was created from a dead child, and it would go around at night looking for targets to harm. It would go to find a house with babies to disturb, and it was crying of the baby that lured the little devil into the house. The little devil seemed to have smelled something because he heard the cry, and he began to climb into the yard. It waited for the child to fall asleep, and when the child's parents were also asleep, he would sneak into the house. It would start climbing into the house. It crept up to the side of my sister's couple and my nephew's bed. Maybe it was trying to harm my nephew. The little devil bit the child's limbs to suck his blood. That thing was also the reason why my nephew was scared and cried all night. The little devil's teeth were sharp and thin. The wound was like a rash. Children who cried for no reason at all were bitten by the little devils, tormented. And the adults couldn't see it because it was just a wandering child ghost. My sister was so scared that she cried and asked my mother what they should do, because if they didn't do anything, the little devil would come every night to harm their son. My mother said the devil was most afraid of lanterns. She asked my brother-in-law to buy 2 red lanterns for the night. They should follow, and it would be fine in a few days. My sister's couple all lit lanterns in the morning and the evening because they were afraid that the little devil would come to their house if they were careless. At night, my sister's house glowed red, like the house in a horror movie. The lanterns seemed to work well. The grandson, my nephew, didn't cry that night. He slept with a very peaceful face. The whole family hoped that he would sleep well that night. On the contrary, my sister and brother-in-law always kept an eye on everything in the house. They wanted to see if the little devil was hiding or not. The couple always looked around all night and did not dare to sleep for fear of where the little devil would crawl out. Fortunately, nothing out of the ordinary happened, so the whole family spent a good and peaceful night under the red light of the lantern. The lantern was lit for 3 days in a row. The baby stopped crying, and since then, my sister taught everyone to use this method whenever they heard of a little devil that would come to disturb their families and young children at night.